This is Unit 2, Week 1, question number 6. What are the three branches of government? The legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. Although actually those are just powers, types of roles that government does. For example, legis means to write. My handwriting would be illegible, same root. Executive means to carry out or to enforce, to execute the laws, not people. But the idea is to carry out, and the executive has to enforce the laws the legislative writes. And finally, the judicial is to evaluate or to judge according to the laws and laws that are passed, and judge people according to those laws. In addition, what was controversial in 1803, Marbury versus Madison, the judicial was going to end up judging the laws themselves, not just the people, whether they break the law, but whether the law itself conflicts with the principal primary law of the Constitution. So eventually the judicial will be able to declare laws unconstitutional if they violate the supreme law, which is the Constitution. Anyways, they broke these into three separate parts with different people having primary responsibility for these. Although in reality, what we have in the United States are separate institutions sharing power. The legislative does not write all the laws. They make the majority of them, but the executive branch can issue, the president can write an executive order declaring that my famous example, however the TSA is supposed to inspect you at the airport, since they're under the Department of Transportation, whose head is the Secretary of Transportation, whose boss is the president can in effect write laws in a limited range. So what we have are separate institutions sharing powers, with the majority of the judicial powers located within the federal court system, of which the highest is the U.S. Supreme Court. The majority of legislative power within the U.S. Congress. The majority of executive power within the U.S. presidency. But some of those powers actually do bleed and overlap, which is part of the notion of the Madisonian system of putting competing powers against one another and not giving all exclusive powers to each branch. Anyways, that's it from the Happy House of History.